All right, welcome to episode 3 of Suit the Shit. We've got a new little angle because my previous thing that I had my phone attached to when I recorded these kind of broke, so that's a little unfortunate, but nonetheless, we're going to keep going with the series. Gladly have this magnetic piece. Today, we're going to talk about what is it worth? Like, the idea of worth and value and meaning and potential. I mean, that's like a bunch of different ideas, but the main one is value. Value is something that is given by people for people. Think of like an appraiser. There's people that appraise houses, paintings, works, whatever it is, you know, contract appraisers, whatever. There's so many different people that appraise the value of things. But what about the things that you can't quantify monetarily? Things like work ethic, things like, you know, your values, things like that. Family, you know, all these kind of abstract ideas that can't be fully quantified by a dollar amount are still extremely important in our lives. Like, that is something that we need to talk about. And why do some people get the power to determine the value of something while some people don't? Some people have to just kind of deal with what other people say is the value of it. It's a very interesting topic, and unfortunately, it could be bad for some people. It could put them in a worse situation than they are, or for some people, on the other hand, it could put them in a better situation than they are, which is, you know, a good thing, obviously. But what does your mindset say about value? You know, what you value and what you put time, effort, and thought into is going to have a big impact on how your life turns out. So what do you value? Is it your health? Is it your family? Is it your relationships? Is it your alone time? Is it your free time? Is it your love for hobbies and, you know, arts, crafts, whatever it might be, music? Where are you putting your time and effort and showing your value through your actions? What is it for you that is showing you this value? And you have to determine this, because what you determine your values matter changes the way that you act in life. It changes the way you see certain people, the things that you know, the conversations that you can have, the rooms that you can get into. It makes a massive difference when you determine what your values are. And then at a certain point, you become somebody that can value other people. You can value other things. You can value, you know, you could be the one that values and creates the value for some people. That's obviously a little down the road, but nonetheless, when you find something that you think about and a concept that means a lot to you and something that doesn't leave your mind, that is a clear sign that's something that you value. You have no dollar amount to what you would spend for it, or maybe it is. Maybe, you know, there is a way to quantify it. Like, say you wanted to become a musician, you love the saxophone, you would pay up to $1,000 for it, but you couldn't quantify how much you want to be a musician. You couldn't quantify the desire. Like, desire is not something that you can quantify in a term of, you know, monetary, or honestly in any other sense. Like, you know, you couldn't just tell me that I have 8 desire units for becoming a saxophone, you know, playing the saxophone. Like, that doesn't exist. You can't do that. There's like, how do you determine whose desire units matter or, you know, are worth more than somebody else's? So that's the thing. But where you put your time and energy is going to be what you value. Where you put that value and what you do with this value can shape the human that you become. It can shape you from being an absolute bum on the streets doing nothing, or somebody that sits in their mom's basement playing video games until they're 30, or it can shape you into a young professional, somebody that has ideas, somebody that has, you know, a solid opinion, knowledge, strength, you know, awareness, all these positive attributes and traits that should be desirable for any young adult. You don't want to have no value behind your name. You don't want to have other, you know, I guess introspective, I guess it's like, I don't know what the word I'd be saying is, but you don't want other people or other sources or other things to have a bad, you know, representation or visualization of you. Obviously, I'm a big believer in, you know, it doesn't matter as much. Like, I don't really care what people think about me, and you shouldn't either. You should do what you want. But nonetheless, your reputation and the value you have and bring as a human enters rooms that you're not in. Conversations are being held about you, or in like maybe even with you, but in rooms that you're not even in, where they discuss the value of you as a human. What value do you bring to the team? What value do you what kind of values do you portray in yourself? And this is a big thing on how your life can turn out. If your reputation and your value that people understand is that you're a slacker, you don't work hard, you kind of cheat the game, and then that you're just not trustworthy person, that reputation's going to be there when you're not. It's going to be in the room after you've left, and it's going to spread, because once people have this kind of idea and visualization of you, it kind of spreads. You have to do some drastic changes to replace and fix it if it's a bad one. If it's a good one, you just have to maintain it. Any bad thing can knock it down. So you want to make sure that the value you bring as a human to others, to yourself, or at least that you portray, is one that's positive. You want to have a positive reputation about you, because I need to turn off my 7:45 alarm. That's the second time this has happened. What I was saying is, your reputation can make you enter a lot of different rooms, but it also could take you out of a bunch of opportunities as well. So you don't want to waste that. You want to create value within yourself that in terms gives value to others. Doesn't have to be necessarily for others. Obviously it's a great thing, but you want that to kind of translate across your life. You want to become somebody of value. The best way to do this is doing important, hard stuff. Think of things that are needed. What are valuable things? Things like paintings, because there's very few, very specific, very famous people made them. Think of what's valuable. When your house is broken, you need a repair person. That's a valuable person at that time. They can fix something for you because they have the knowledge, education, skills, all these things. They have the value and values that you are in need of at the moment. So do things that are in demand. Do things that people will desire. Do things that will raise your level of living and your standard and who you are as a human. And that's how you create value for yourself. Now, I'm not here to tell you exactly what that looks like for you. Everybody's life looks differently, and the way they see value and determine their value will be different. But if you want to give yourself the most opportunities and the most at-bats as possible, you want to give yourself a positive value kind of score not in comparison, but in regards to others. You want others to think positively of you so that they have that positive image, and that could potentially lead to opportunities to change your life. You never know. It never hurts. That's another point. Why would you ever want a negative value? What's the benefit of having a negative reputation and negative value behind your name when you could have a positive one? I get people do whatever they want, but there's no gain or benefit. Not saying that everything in life has to be of gain and benefit, but there is no true reason behind why you should have a negative reputation to your name. So put some positive value behind your name and do something that's going to improve your life for the foreseeable future.